Resource packs are a great way to transform the look of Minecraft, so today I found a bunch of different resource packs that you can use for Minecraft 1.21.5 Spring to Life. First of all, we'll take a look at Vanilla Tweaks, which is a resource pack picker, which has a load of updated packs for this new version of Minecraft, such as changes to the brand new Firefly bush, changes to the new spawn egg textures, as well as changes to the new mob variants added, such as the cows and the pigs. The first pack from Vanilla Tweaks I want to take a look at is Old Fireflies, which essentially reverts the Firefly texture to what it looked like when it was showcased at Minecraft Live a few years ago. And you can actually tell the design straight away on the Firefly bush, as these will now be sort of greener colours, and if I set it to night, and the Firefly particles begin to spawn, you'll see the old design with these sort of black and green pixels, rather than all of the white pixels that are actually added into Minecraft. Inside of Minecraft 1.21.5, we got a load of updates to all of the spawn eggs. And honestly, I really prefer these spawn eggs. I love the sort of unique designs of all of these. However, Vanilla Tweaks offers a resource pack, which reverts all of the spawn eggs to their original designs. And to be honest, if you've played Minecraft for a long time, like I have, you'll be able to know all of these spawn eggs straight away. Like this one's a hoglin. This one here is like a polar bear. We've got Vex. But if you're a newer player, I definitely recommend using the new designs. They're honestly so much better. But this is just an option for players who've been playing the game for a long time, or just prefer the older look of the spawn eggs. As previously mentioned, Vanilla Tweaks also offers some redesigns for different mobs. So if we take a look at the cows or the pigs, they'll actually no longer have snouts. It will be completely flat on their face. This is what I believe a pig used to look like in sort of alpha and beta Minecraft. The snout is reverted on the cow, which was actually just added in 1.21.5. But this also carries across to the mob variants. You'll see here the cow no longer has a 3D snout, and it's the same with the pigs. Even the cold pig right here, if he looks at me, there we go, he doesn't have a 3D snout anymore, which honestly definitely looks a bit strange, especially on the pig. The cow I'm used to because I've played Minecraft for such a long time when they didn't have snouts, whereas the pig, yeah, that just looks really weird. It looks so flat on their face. Whilst not added in 1.21.5, as this was added in the Garden Awakens update, Vanilla Tweaks also offers a redesigned texture for Resin, as it slightly desaturates the blocks. And honestly, I think this design fits in more with Minecraft. Like, this is the look of Resin without the resource pack on, and it's so much more saturated, even compared to like grass blocks and things. But with the resource pack switched on, you can see it's slightly less saturated, and honestly, I think this is a better design. I think it fits in more with the look of Minecraft, and these blocks are probably a bit more usable now that they're slightly desaturated. As well as this, Minecraft 1.21.5 added support for custom item textures in vanilla Minecraft. You no longer need to use a mod such as CIT Rezone or Optifine, which is why Vanilla Tweaks has launched a few new resource packs. First of all, unique Axolotl buckets, which simply changes the look of the Axolotl bucket. Obviously, we would have this pink one as the normal default one. However, with Vanilla Tweaks, you can use unique Axolotl buckets, so it will display the correct colour. For example, this golden one here will spawn a golden axolotl. This blue one here will spawn the rare blue axolotl. And honestly, I'm really surprised this just wasn't a part of vanilla Minecraft. Like, it just makes so much sense to have the different colour axolotls inside the buckets. It just looks so good like this. Now, this does remind me of another annoyance I have with Minecraft. Obviously, if we light ourselves on fire, we'll be covered in orange fire. That makes sense because that's the colour of its fire. But if we light some soul fire and stand in it, we'll be on orange fire, which doesn't really make too much sense. So I feel like that should be changed at some point. I don't know how easy it would be with a resource pack though, or even if it's possible. As well as this, Vanilla Tweaks also offers a resource pack for unique paintings. As you can see behind me, all of the different painting textures, which are accessible in creative mode, have brand new unique textures. For example, I know that this one will be a wither painting. If we go around here, it can only be placed as a wither painting. Whereas this one here will only display the sort of water element painting, which is actually only accessible in creative mode. As well as this, Vanilla Tweaks has released a data pack, which allows you to put a painting inside of a stone cutter to get any of these unique designs to honestly help building so much more in survival mode. But before I move on to the next resource pack, what does that sign say behind me? Subscribe? That's right, make sure to subscribe, as I want to see how many subscribers I can be on by the end of the year. One of the brand new blocks added in the Spring to Life drop was leaf litter, which is simply just like sort of piles of dead leaves, and honestly, it's a really nice texture. I'm a massive fan of it. However, with this resource pack, texture changes. This is Bushy leaf litter, and it simply changes what leaf litter looks like. So if I place one down, it sort of looks the same. I add two, and it actually gets a really cool design. It's sort of like a 3D model, so there's sort of a pile of leaves sort of in the air, We can add a third one in and then a fourth, and it actually changes the design entirely. But you can make really cool patterns with this now, and honestly, it does look really good. It sort of helps to add more detail, I guess, to a forest as well, as if it's sort of more representing a pile of leaves, whereas the sort of one by itself, or like in vanilla Minecraft, I guess, it's sort of quite flat. But with this resource pack, it sort of adds more elevation and height to it. Although, if I'm honest, I don't really like the fact that if I get a group of 3 and then add a 4th, it completely changes the model. I feel like that's a bit strange, but honestly, this isn't too bad of a resource pack, and I definitely recommend using it if you are sort of playing in a forest biome, because this does change the look of leaf litter, and honestly, it doesn't look too bad. Now, another brand new block added into this update is the bush. One of my favorite blocks added in this update, actually. I really like the design of it. However, if you're not too much of a fan of this bush texture, you can use this resource pack, as Bushy Bushes changes the look of the bush block to be more 3D. And honestly, this is a really cool design. It almost feels like every time I have to walk through it, it's going to slow me down a bit. It completely changes the look of the block, but honestly, it's not a bad design. I think this looks really nice. And to be fair, it does really blend in quite well with other builds. But as well as the change to the bush, it also changes the look of the berry bush to have this sort of similar 3D design. And honestly, that looks really nice. I like the look of that berry bush. That's sort of its smaller state. Then we can grab a bit of bone meal. That's what it looks like without berries. That's what it looks like with a few berries. And then that's what it looks like with loads of berries. Honestly, this is a pretty cool design, and it works especially well if you're not a massive fan of a brand new bush item. And actually, it also slightly changes the look of a bush item. I feel like that looks a little bit thicker than it did before. But if you're not too much of a fan of these new 3D bushes, you could use this next resource pack, which brings the bush more in line to the Undead Bush. As this is the Undead Bush pack, which essentially changes the look of a bush texture to be more in line with the dead bush. And honestly, this pack looks really good. You can sort of see pixels of the dead bush inside of a bush, sort of the orange or browny sort of colours. But honestly, I think that looks really nice. And it definitely sort of fits a lot into the Minecraft theme as well. You can also see it's a little bit taller than a block as well, which is a nice detail. But honestly, it works really well alongside the dead bush. And also, if we're taking a look at a more natural build, it works really well. Like, it's almost hard to notice, but I actually really like this. Although I really like the default bush texture as well. So maybe we could just get like the Undead Bush as an actual item in the game in the future. I think that would be pretty cool. As yeah, that's a really nice design. And it works really well with the dead bush. I'm a fan of this resource pack. Just like I'm a fan of wildflowers. Honestly, wildflowers are probably my favorite thing added to the Spring to Life drop, as they just look amazing. They help to add so much detail. If you've not watched my recent hardcore video, I definitely recommend doing so. I transformed my hardcore world with loads of these brand new wildflowers, and they just look so good. However, Wisp's wonderful wildflowers transforms the look of the wildflowers further by adding different coloured variants. And if you've watched any of my videos, you know how much I want like these coloured variants for wildflowers to be added into the game, as they would just be so good. So here we've just got the default coloured one, but then this one's here like pink and red, another pink and red, sort of pink and yellow, blue and white. Honestly, it's such cool designs, and then we get sort of bigger flowers. This is just so cool. It just simply adds variation to the wildflowers, which is so cool. Although I don't think the actual wildflower should look sort of this randomized and like with different colors. I think it would be better if we did just get different colored wildflowers, like we get some reds and some blues. But yeah, this is so cool, and it really does just help to transform the look of wildflowers. And honestly, the texture itself is just so nicely done. I really like all these sort of vibrant colors it has to it. In recent Minecraft updates, we've got updates to different textures. For example, 1.21.5 introduced the brand new changes to the spawn eggs. And in a previous Minecraft update, we also got updated textures to all of the different banner patterns, as well as redesigns for all the potions, which now have more unique colors. However, one thing that is lacking is all of the enchanted books. Like this enchanted book right here. What is it? Is this Windbirth? I couldn't have told straight away. Which one is this sort of top left one? It's blast protection. I wouldn't have guessed that. What's one of these middle ones? Maybe like mending or something. No, it's power 5. Like, it's so hard to tell all of these different enchanted books apart. Which is where the resource pack Recovered comes in, as it completely redesigns the look of all of the enchanted books in the game. And yeah, these are so cool. You can also see there's some animated designs. Here are some of the animated textures I've managed to find. This one is Depth Strider. That looks really cool. You can also see there's a sort of subtle dolphin design on it. That looks really nice. I believe this is just flame. That looks really cool. Then we've also got respiration with these really cool bubble particles on it. That looks really nice. Then we've obviously got soul speed as well, which will have occasional soul particles coming off it. That looks really nice. But just in general, these enchanted books just look amazing. Like efficiency, that's actually obvious to tell which it is. And even if we just look at some more, like that sort of central one, I know that's now Infinity. The Rose one, that's Thorns. Creeper, Blast Protection, obviously. Fire Protection, Frostwalker, Multi-Shot, Protection. Honestly, these are just some really cool looking book designs. And it's now obviously all possible in 1.20 1.5 without the use of Optifine or CIT Rezone, due to the custom item textures being a part of this update. On a similar note to all the Enchanted books, another texture in Minecraft which doesn't have unique designs is actually armor with an armor trim. All of these have different trims. This one's got Snout, this one's got Silence, this one's got Bolt, Eye, and Wild, but they all look the exact same. Which is where the resource pack Visual Armor Trims comes in, as it now redesigns the look of all of these item textures to have more unique designs representing the different armor trims that are on it. Now it's obvious to tell, this is what the Silence one looks like, this is what the Eye one looks like, and it actually shows you sort of a preview of what it will look like as well, which is really helpful. So I know that this one will have an eye at the center. And also this resource pack is really helpful for being able to preview what an armor trim will look like. Like on my turtle shell in here, and I want to see what Wayfinder looks like. I'll add a bit of iron, and you can see a bit easier. Obviously it shows on the armor stand as well. Then I can just add, I guess, Eye chest plate. We'll do Silence leggings, and then Bolt boots. But yeah, these item textures, yeah, they look so much nicer than they did before, where they all had the exact same design. Yeah, honestly, this is a resource pack I'm definitely going to be using in the future. Obviously, with 1.20 1.5, we got all of these brand new updated spawn egg textures. However, these next few resource packs are for those who do not really like these new designs, but also for people who don't like the old designs. This first pack is known as Spawned Eggs, and it transforms the look of all of the spawn eggs in Minecraft to be pixel art designs of the mobs that they spawn in. And honestly, these are such cool spawn egg designs. Like that tropical fish just looks amazing. We've got the slime spawn egg, I think that looks really good. The llama spawn egg, I really like that. Hoglin, bee, pig, zombified piglin, pufferfish. These textures just look so cool. And if we take a look in the inventory, we can have a closer look at them. And honestly, some of these are just amazing. I just love the sort of pixel art style of these. This is such a unique way to do spawn eggs as well. And it really just does represent the exact mob that it will spawn in. Like that parrot spawn egg design, that looks really cool. Honestly, these are some really cool designs. I'm actually such a big fan of them. It's a shame I like the new designs as well so much. Otherwise, I'd definitely use this pack, as these just look so cool. And even like the things that are creaking, that looks really nice. However, if you don't like spawned eggs that much, you could use mob crates, which is a similar pack, but essentially it adds pixel art designs of all the different mobs into little baskets, and now there's a Zoglin for some reason. And honestly, once again, these are such cool designs. Like that llama looks really cool. The shulker one's pretty cool as well. It just shows us shulker shell. We've got a little tadpole, that looks so cool. Like a basket sort of full of water. I really like that design. We've got the design for a few other mobs. Like that ocelot looks so cute, like a little paw sticking out. That looks so cool. Even works with sort of bigger mobs like the iron golem. I think that looks nice. Once again, we've got like a tropical fish in sort of a basket of water. That looks really cool. And the armadillo as well. That's a really nice texture. Now, as I've mentioned a few times in this video, one of the best parts about 1.20 1.5 was the ability to have custom item textures in vanilla Minecraft, which this next resource pack takes advantage of, as this next pack is known as Visuals. And this pack simply changes the look of many different Minecraft items to have unique designs depending on what the item actually is. For example, it has something as simple as different height fireworks for the different flight durations. Like this is flight duration 1, it's quite small. Flight duration 2 is a little bit longer, and then flight duration 3 is much longer, and honestly that's a really cool design straight away. We've also got a redesigned bundle, which looks like sort of the old design the bundle had, but I assume as we sort of add items in, yeah, it changes the design. But actually looks more sort of like inflated than it would before. Or if we add half a stack, that's sort of a traditional bundle look. And then we can sort of add in more until it's full. And yeah, it does definitely get like a more full up design now. That looks cool. And then there are some other texture changes, such as all the goat horns now having unique designs. And these look really cool. Like this one's got multiple holes. This one's sort of much thinner. Yeah, these designs. I'm actually a big fan of the goat horn designs. Just a way to sort of add more unique designs in Minecraft, which I think things like the goat horn desperately need, is all of them looking the exact same is slightly boring. It's sort of like the Enchanted books we looked at earlier. It's just slightly boring if they all look the same. Other things have changed. For example, all of the suspicious stew textures have changed. For example, the saturation one looks a bit like it has like sort of dandelions and blue orchids inside, as that is how you craft it. The regeneration one has oxide daisies in it, because that's how you craft that one. The wither one has wither roses in. That's just some really cool unique designs. Oh, even the ominous bottles have changed. Like, they sort of get red eyes as they level up. That's really nice. I really like that sort of very subtle detail. And also, this pack only has like just over 1,000 downloads, which I'm really surprised about because it adds so many really cool features. As well as this resource pack also adds different unique textures for tropical fish once you pick them up in buckets, which is a really cool feature. So if we just pick up a few of these random ones, we get this guy here, this guy over here, we'll spawn one more in. You see the unique designs that we have. That looks really cool straight away. And honestly, this is a feature that would be cool in vanilla Minecraft. Just to add slightly more textures, despite there being like thousands of different fish variants. These just look so cool though. I love the sort of unique designs of these buckets. And similar to vanilla tweaks, this resource pack also introduces it for Axolotl buckets, as well as all the unique painting designs. As well as this resource pack also has a long list of ideas that's already planned for future updates, which I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I may even do an update video in the future, as some of these parts of this pack are really cool. So I definitely recommend checking out the resource pack visuals, as it's seriously underrated. This final resource pack transforms the look of vanilla Minecraft, as this is a resource pack known as Windscape. And honestly, this is a really good looking pack. It sort of makes Minecraft seem more cartoony, like this grass looks more saturated. The cactus flower even looks really cool. So this obviously does update all of the new blocks and items added in this update. It also seems like it's sort of got the spawned egg mob textures for spawn eggs, as we looked at earlier. These are really cool. It changes the mobs as well. Like even like the new cow. That looks so cool. That's honestly such a cool texture. I'm a massive fan of that. The whole like inventory changes as well. I like this sort of shade of inventory. We've even got things like 3D lanterns. That looks really nice. We've also got textures like animated torches. I think that's a really cool design. And honestly, if you really like sort of a more cartoony look of Minecraft, I definitely recommend using this resource pack, as it just does look really cool. I have this wolf also. That looks really cool. I like that design. The resin looks really nice as well, actually. It sort of reminds me a bit of the bare bones pack, which sort of simplifies Minecraft textures, which I feel like this resource pack does a good job at. As well, just adding extra detail. Like, I like these variated flowers we've got. That's really cool. I like that as a detail. Obviously, this pack also updates the newer items added to the wildflower. That looks really good. And I also really like this sort of golden design here for the wheat. That looks really nice. We've got a villager here. What does the villager look like? Oh yeah, you look pretty funny actually. Your eyes seem much further apart. That's a really cool texture. But as I just walk around my world, you begin to see how cool some of these textures are. Like, just look how cool this brown mushroom looks. Like, I really like the design with sort of 3D mushrooms on top. That's a really nice detail. Sort of darker brown spots. That's honestly such a nice texture. And although it is sort of completely different from vanilla Minecraft, it'd be a really fun experience just to play with this pack for a bit, as it really does just look amazing. Like, even the chickens, they've got really funny designs now. The egg as well, that looks really round for an egg. But that's a really cool texture. I'm also aware I've probably said really cool or cool so many times in this video. I do apologise, I should probably update my vocabulary at some point, but honestly, all of these packs have been really cool today. So I definitely recommend checking all of them out. They will be in the description. And it even simplifies the menus, like that Minecraft logo, that just looks really cool. The background itself looks good, and all the options and buttons and text, that looks really nice as well. But there we go, these are a bunch of resource packs that I definitely recommend using in Minecraft 1.21.5. Make sure to subscribe and like the video, and let me know in the comments which of these resource packs you'll be using. And also, I'm just looking around my hardcore world now with Windscape, and it's so cool. Like the lower shield, or sort of like the shield to the side, that's really cool. Even things like a netherite sword, that's a nice texture. We've got sort of skull hardcore hearts. Wow, this sort of transforms the look of my hardcore world, but in a really nice way. But anyway, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to subscribe.